What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC reality checking. You don't see my pretty, sexy face, so you know I'm not alone. We're kind of talking about AEW, so we got Guapo. What's up, Guapo?
Hola, mis amigos, Senor de Guapo's back again, and that's right, we're finally doing it.
We're finally doing it. We've been promising. I've mildly promised this on Twitter for a while. We've definitely had the legwork done for this for, I would say, at least 6 months, maybe less.
We definitely planted the seed about doing this for at least 6 months now.
I mean, like, when I started breaking down, like, you know, you and me do AEW, me and Jake do NXT. Shout out to Jake, and he's still got medical stuff. We hope he's doing okay. Thank you. Connor's doing, like, B-level WWE with me. Kristen and I are doing the movie. When we started breaking all that down, it became a video that really only you and I could do.
Well, yes, of course.
Because you are the resident, to steal a line from What Culture right off the bat, you are the paid AEW shill, Senor Guapo. And I am, if you follow Twitter, even though it's not really true, the WWE apologist. Even though I'm like, nah, Raw and SmackDown suck. I just like my black and gold brand, but it's fine. So what are we doing? We are booking a WWE versus AEW pay-per-view. This is not like some of the other, or at least on my behalf. I won't speak for Guapo because he might have like stories and build and all that sort of thing. I just have some matches on here that I want to see, and that's really it.
Pretty much all my matches are the same thing. Stuff I want to see. However, some of it is kind of can be story driven. So.
Oh, I've got stuff that you could definitely put a story into. I just haven't because I'm lazy and having 6 months to prep for this. Didn't change that in the slightest. I will say there is one caveat. My main event, all my other matches, obviously, as is the theme of the video, are AEW versus WWE, AEW singles versus WWE singles, AEW tag teams versus WWE tag teams. There is one exception with mine, because my main event is WWE versus AEW versus a wild card. And we will get there, and we will get there when we get there. Now, initially, we were going to do 10 matches each. And then I said to Guapo, well, I've got my 10 matches and a pre-show, and Guapo just came back and said, well, he had 12 matches.
It happens.
So, I yield the floor to you, because you're going to apparently start and end this video. So what do you got?
Well, I have, first to start the pre-show to get the crowd popping, I have, for representing NXT, the Street Profits.
Okay.
Versus AEW's Pride and Joy, weighing in at 24 ounces of cranberry vodka. Private Party.
So 2 rip-offs of Crime Time facing each other. Now
yes.
You can't technically say representing NXT anymore, considering the Street Profits and Bianca Belair are main roster superstars now.
This is true, however, when I wrote this, they were in NXT still.
Yeah. Another caveat to put on all this is there are a couple matches, and I will openly say what I had to change. I went through today for recency, for slight exception, for relevance. I've made a couple changes to my matches. We'll get there when we get there. But coming off of last night, we're cards on the table. We're filming this on June 11th, so AEW and NXT were last night. I did watch AEW, and although my opinions on Cody are very well public knowledge at this point in time, Mark Quinn versus Cody was a really decent match for that ugly TNT championship. So, athletic as hell, and I mean athletic as hell for the Street Profits as well. I don't particularly have winners for my matches because I'm just letting the matches speak for themselves. You got any particular team, or are you just saying like you're the AEW guys, so you want the AEW guys to win?
I mean, obviously. However, for like Street Profits, Private Party, the fans win. Basically, this entire match match setup will be the fans win, because this is just would be fun matches. Street Profits Private Party would definitely be gimmicky all over the place. I would edge Street Profits probably winning that match though, by Private Party's own fuckery of messing up something.
Okay, or technically Mark Quinn has a bad ankle right now, so we could blame that. I'm gonna throw something else on top of that, really, really briefly. If you look at the outside of the ring portion of things, you could potentially have Bianca Belair on one side and Matt Hardy on the other side. So imagine Bianca Belair and her shitty gimmick that I can't stand. Imagine Bianca Belair trying to hair whip broken Matt Hardy.
I'm okay with that.
Yes. Okay, so Athletic as Hell, also Mark Quinn and Montez Ford as a one-on-one standoff sometime in that match. I mean, all four of these guys are charismatic as hell, but specifically Ford and Quinn, there's a lot to go on there, and there's a lot of jacket tails flapping with Quinn as well. So
I feel like all four of them will go to the middle of the ring and share a solo cup at least once.
Probably. And I mean, as far as the Street Profits go, it works better than whatever the hell it is that they're doing with the Viking Raiders at the moment. You know, bowling and archery and such and such. Speaking of the Viking Raiders, see the transition that I did there?
I see that.
My pre-show match was sort of set up to be a pre-show in the sense of, okay, here's the guys that we don't quite give a shit about, except the guys at the other side are kind of starting to actually become something now. But before the introduction of Brody Lee, I had Viking Raiders versus Dark Order. Dark Order being Evil Uno and Stu Grayson.
Okay.
Big guy, little guy, big guy, slightly less big guy versus big guy, slightly less big guy. Evil Uno squaring up to Warbeard Hansen at some point in that match would just, and I mean, you could go like the really, really, really heavy hitting, like, let's just throw every punch we've got. And equally, you could go, you know, the Viking Raiders being really goofy like they are currently, and the Dark Order leaning way too hard into like the gothic culty weirdness. You know, they could bring you know, who do you call them, like the power putties that are out with them?
Yeah.
The creepers? Are they calling them the creepers? Is that a thing?
I'm not even sure, to be honest.
But you know, like some of them have names, like you have 8 and 9 and 10 and whatever, and you get just some other random masked guys. I didn't put too much thought into this because, as I said at the time, Dark Order, when they debuted in AEW, and I think you and I even talked about this, they did not hit right when they first debuted.
Yes,
they were kind of, I mean, unless people knew them from the indies, I know they used to be the Super Smash Brothers, etc. But as for an introduction in AEW, they sort of didn't hit right. So I sort of put them with the Viking Raiders, who we knew were great in NXT, and came to the main roster and didn't hit right. So it's like, maybe they can commiserate.
Yes.
You're up.
All right, my last pre-show match is, let's see, which one was it? Shoot, I lost my place. Well, again, this person is a former NXT person, but he's on SmackDown, I think. Andrade.
Okay.
Versus Sammy Guevara.
Ooh.
Lots of flippy dippies.
And see, I was really, really close to putting Sammy Guevara versus Angel Garza on my list.
Yeah, that was one I was thinking too, but
it got edged out by some of the other matches on here by just wrestlers that I have more developed opinions of.
Right.
Not anything against Angel Garza or Sammy Guevara. For me, the guy that, you know, apparently hates AEW because I dare to like NXT. Sammy Guevara along with Darby Allin. Darby Allin is his babyface equivalent. Those two guys are two of the guys that are carrying the show.
Yes,
for me,
absolutely.
Darby Allin skating around this week with Tony Hawk. It's fine. It's fine. We'll get there. Andrade is in a weird spot right now because he was doing the Zelina Vega Angel Garza thing. I think they're breaking that up in one way or another. Like Austin Theory got traded to Seth Rollins' team for reasons. But yeah, up against Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara is something else, man. Like
for a man his age, because I think he's like only 24, 25. He has a major longevity still in wrestling, and
he's starting pretty much.
He's starting, legitimately just starting, and he's already found a great footing, and especially having a mentor like Chris Jericho right there next to him every week is definitely something that's going to help him build.
I was going to say the guy radiates, protege of Jericho.
Oh yeah.
And it's not to say that he's like trying to be like knockoff Jericho number 2.
Yeah.
Like Jericho's helping him find his own foot and his own voice and whatnot. And
right,
I mean, when he's not being an absolute dickhead, like even though we think he's great, I still think we're underrating him in the ring.
I honestly think Sammy, once he does leave once they finish the Inner Circle, because that will end at some point. It has to. Honestly, I think Sammy will be a major babyface one day. But he's going to be one of the ones that he's going to ride that line of he can be a babyface or a heel and a drop of a hat.
Yeah, but you know what I hope? I hope they don't, like, when they turn him babyface, I hope they don't, like, try to make him babyface. Like, you can be on the good side of a fight and still be a dickhead. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's several examples. I mean, Ambrose, or Moxley, I should say, is the good guy in his matches, but he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
Now that's from a violent point of view, and obviously with Guevara, it's from a sarcasm point of view, and you just want to smack him point of view. He's very much the other side of the coin of a character like MJF.
Right.
Because they've got the same kind of arrogance coming at it from a completely different direction. Imagine MJF as a babyface.
Yeah.
I can't remember who he fought, but he fought somebody at a Destiny show, so yeah, there you go, check off your Spaz Phoenix bingo card. He fought somebody in the main event at one of the Destiny shows I was at. I think he was actually facing Josh Alexander. And this is the first time I saw him. This is before he was in AEW, so I didn't know what to expect other than you told me a couple of things, I think. And he got his lights knocked out at the end of the match and, like, just stayed down in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, while other people were coming into the ring to have their pictures taken with other wrestlers, MJF was still out in the middle of the ring. And just, it was so fucking good. And I feel sort of unfortunate in the fact that I didn't know who I was watching at the time. But very much, if I want to be selfish, when things get up and running again, I would love to see, anybody at a Destiny show, because that would mean that I'm at a Destiny show. I'm still bummed that I didn't get to see Jordan Devlin versus Josh Alexander, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. I think yours is great. I'm going to say Guevara should win that.
Oh yeah, Andrade is great, but he'll take the L.
Yeah, I don't think Andrade lose. I mean, this is totally fiction that's never going to happen. But if it did, Andrade doesn't lose anything by losing that match.
No, nothing at all.
And I think he could help him along the right way. Basically, what I think is going to happen between Andrade and Angel Garza is pretty close to what you'd get in that match.
And I just want to input a slight honorable mention that I wanted to put on my list, but I can't because one of the people is no longer with a certain company, WWE.
Okay.
I really wanted EC3 versus MJF. a man in the mirror match.
Oh my god. Well, EC3 is apparently going to Impact, so it would still be AEW versus not AEW.
Right.
But I mean, he was also going to be tag teaming up with Rockstar Spud again, and that's not happening because Rockstar Spud, Drake Maverick, won back his job by losing a match on NXT.
You mean he won back his job in quotations?
Yeah, everybody's salty about it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody can deny whether you're for, whether you're against, whether you like him, whether you don't like him, wherever you land on the Drake Maverick debate.
Oh, I like Drake Maverick.
No, I don't mean specifically you, but I'm saying like there's people that don't, and that's fine. There's people that think he's a bit of a twerp, which is fair, especially if you knew him as Rockstar Spud. Some people just don't like his underdog shtick, which is fine. But wherever you land on the Drake Maverick debate, wherever you land on the specific storyline that he just came out of, everybody out there right now within the sound of my voice, and please tell me down in the box below if you disagree, because I'd love to have that conversation. No matter what your opinion is, Drake Maverick means more to the fans now than he did 2 months ago. So whether you want to admit it or not, what they did worked.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my take. Okay, so speaking of Impact, but not really, because they're not in Impact anymore, we got, I'm not going to put Daniels in a match, because I don't want to be sad, but I got Scorpio Sky and Kazarian, and cards on the table, I was going to have them against the Usos, but
okay.
I had to take the Usos out of this match for reasons that will become relevant later. And I thought, who was another really popular, just genuine, everybody kind of likes them, good tag team? And one of the things on Raw that was sort of thrown together because of the current global situation, in tight air quotes, but I don't care because it works, is the team of Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. So I got Cedric Alexander and Ricochet versus Sky and Kaz.
Yes. That'd be great.
X Division if there was an X Division.
Pretty much, yeah.
I went 50-50 on whether I would make this some kind of special match. I wanted to make it a ladder match, but it felt too predictable. Even though we're not talking about Impact, something like the Ultimate X match for these four guys would be fantastic. Ricochet and Alexander, I don't know how those two guys on the main roster are not like plastered all over the screen every week. Especially when they're actually there, when other people can't be, health-wise or whatever the case may be. And Kaz and Scorpio Sky. Now, I didn't see Scorpio Sky until he came to AEW, because back when I was watching TNA, the team was just Kazarian and Daniels. And Daniels, we all love him, we all respect him, and nobody can take anything away from the guy, but he's struggling a bit.
Right.
Time's catching up with them, and as it should. Look at some of the shit they did in the X Division back in the day, and it sort of falls into the Hardy Boys category of like, how the fuck are these guys still walking? But Scorpio Sky is definitely the young blood on that team, and Kazarian is one of those time machine wrestlers. Like, I don't know how he's still doing what he's doing. But to take a veteran like that with a young talent like that and put him up against two other, young guys, and Ricochet's, a vet from like everywhere else that I've heard of him from. I don't know what Alexander did before WWE. I'm not that versed.
If I remember right, he did a lot of indie stuff. Like,
okay.
I want to say he worked. I don't think he worked Impact or ROH. I want to say he did Evolve and somewhere else.
Yeah. The training center for WWE's training center. But I mean, like Ricochet, to the limited bit of my knowledge, because I didn't see him until he was in WWE, but I know he was in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma. I know from listening to What Culture, I know he was in WCPW for a bit. Yes. Other than that, I know he fought. He fought, what's his name?
Ospreay.
There we go. But he fought Ospreay like everywhere, apparently.
Yes, pretty much. They took that match on tour.
Yeah. Apparently they fought in and again, this is just me cheesily making What Culture references. But apparently, if you listen to Adam Cleary was involved in putting a match together between those two guys where they broke the ring, and they had to act like that was part of the show.
Yeah.
So, interesting shit. And I mean, first time I saw Ricochet was in an NXT house show versus Buddy Murphy.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie. I was at the old Maple Leaf Gardens, so nostalgia, and here's this guy that everybody else is talking about that I don't have a clue about. I'm gonna go home and ask Guapo, probably.
Yes.
I'm
sending.
Yeah, as I say, I wish I had.
Guy, huh?
I wish I had more to say, but as I say, a lot of these, not like most booking videos that we do, or me and Kristen do, or all three of us do. I just have like, hey, wouldn't this be cool? Type matches. So
I can
there's
definitely see Ricochet and Scorpio Sky having a major moment in that type of match.
Yeah.
Between them, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who the moment would be for it, because initially my thought was Ricochet and Kazarian having a moment, but that's, as I say, that's only because I'm more familiar with Kazarian back from, like, as we always say, like, back when TNA was good. Well,
right.
I mean, Kaz, with his rip-off Metallica logo, doing the flux capacitor, like, every Wednesday night, like, that was a thing. And Scorpio Sky, it's hard for me, right? Because I sort of became familiar with the trio in AEW, which is fine. I've been introduced to a lot of wrestlers through AEW. It's great.
Right.
But, like, here's this tag team that I know, and to me, it's like, okay, they picked up a third guy along the way. But that doesn't take away from the fact that the guy's fucking phenomenal. And he got himself on his way to being the first AEW tag team champion with one shoe on.
Right.
Like, everybody hates the whole just let the wrestlers wrestle, but, like, put these four guys in the ring and let them wrestle. Anyways, you're up.
All right, to kick off my show, I figured why not start off with a little fun. Representing NXT, we will have Breezango versus the Lucha Brothers.
Ooh. That's like a lot of fun versus a lot of violence.
It's a good mix.
Okay, I'll just say it right now. I love Breezango. We were talking about this before we came online tonight. They are criminally underutilized and have been since day one. I'm also going to say, in that match, they're going to die.
Yes, they will. However, at the very, I just want to square off between the showing off between like Pentagon or Phoenix with Breeze, because Breeze is a freaking workhorse.
Oh God, here it is. Friggin' Pentagon and Phoenix are just doing the Zero Miero thing, and Breeze tries to get between the two of them with a selfie stick. And come on, you had to be thinking of that.
No, that, and I was also thinking that they're doing that, and
the Fandango dudes.
Right? No, Fandango's writing them a fashion police ticket.
Or he starts talking to him like, "Hey Pentagon, you should say your name like this, Pentagon." Oh my God! And then they die, and then
they get murdered.
Package pile driver party.
Package pile driver party. Canadian destroyers for everybody.
That weird rolling arm breaker thing that he does.
Yeah.
I can't look at Rey Fenix without thinking young Rey Mysterio. Like, it's uncanny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have them. Or I have one of them later on down the line.
Okay. Well, you're up.
Okay. So, as I say, all these matches are just for fun for me. This one is really, really, really gonna hit home for me. For those of you that have been listening to me for a long time, you know who my biases swing towards.
Destiny.
Well, yeah. Spaz Phoenix Bingo is a thing. But since we've been doing the AEW thing, on the babyface side, who have I been singing the praises of nonstop?
On a babyface side of AEW?
Yes.
Cody?
I'm going to give you another shot at that.
Sorry, I had to do it. Darby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so I got Darby Allin, who's sort of doing the cool, I hate to say underdog because that almost has a negative connotation, but he's doing the underdog thing well. He's got the rivalry with Cody that's just like bubbling on the back burner, hasn't quite gotten his win yet. Should have won the chip and cashed in the chip on Cody on the night. It's fine. It didn't happen. I'm over it. It's fine. Versus one of my favorite wrestlers, and I'm going to clarify, not saying he's one of the best wrestlers of all time, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I got Darby Allin taking on Jeff Hardy.
Okay.
Obviously, like, the aesthetic, the visual of it is...
Well, that's been the comparison that everybody's been saying, that Darby is basically a very young Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. I just, like, even though I know it's obvious in some ways, like, if I'm going to put a card together, I'm putting that on there because Darby Allin was one of the first of the wrestlers that I didn't already know in AEW when you started, when I went to you and said, okay, we have to talk about AEW because you know these people and I don't.
Right.
Darby Allin was one of the first ones that stuck out to me, and ironically enough, it was when he took Roman Reigns there to the limit. And, I mean, if you want to go purely on my biases, it's going to be Jeff Hardy.
Well, we'll have to check off a Guapo box on the bingo because, the night when he went the distance with Cody and he had that crazy coffin drop
on the apron.
It was at Fyter Fest.
You were there.
Fyter Fest last year that I was at. It was awesome.
Can I just say, Fyter Fest isn't even a pay-per-view this year?
Yeah.
They just need to win on the night on Wednesday, so they just they're giving away a pay-per-view. It's fine. I'm not going to say anything about that. That's totally cool.
Well, I think part of it's because
I know they were supposed to do it in the UK. I'm just taking the piss.
Yeah.
It's fine. You know what? This might surprise a lot of people. I would give this to Darby.
Yeah, I think Jeff lays out for him.
I was going to say, like, real life, real person Jeff Hardy probably goes into the booker and says, let me give this kid a win.
Yeah.
And on a side note, I can't believe the shit that they're doing with him right now on SmackDown. Just, like, they're retreading the whole, like, Jeff has had drinking issues before, Jeff has had drug issues before, and they're doing it again. Like, they did a staged hit and run on SmackDown. Yeah. Like, people are talking, and I hate to go back to it, but, like, people are talking about the Drake Maverick thing and how disrespectful it was on NXT to make it into a storyline. Like, they did a drunk driver hit and run story on SmackDown. And if that doesn't bother you more than the Drake Maverick thing, I think you need to. And again, like, obviously, I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking, like, to you about these other people, right? Like, if, real or fake, at the end of the day, Drake Maverick, we thought he might have lost his job. And at the end of the day, real or fake, a person still has a job. You might not like it, but that's still a happy story. They faked a hit and run on SmackDown. It's bad. And I always caveat it with, it's Jeff Hardy's real life story. If he wants to use it to put some sort of positive message out at the end of it, I can't argue with what somebody does with their own life story. But the way they're doing it is really weird and really bad.
Agreed. And honestly, it makes me think that Jeff's contract might not have much time left on it. And they're doing this just to bury him on the way out.
See, that sucks. Because that means like the choice to use his real life wasn't his choice.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other, like, dark hole I don't even want to go down if that's the case, honestly. But yeah, Jeff Hardy, Darby Allin, we know, I'll say it as probably one of his biggest supporters. Jeff Hardy isn't what he used to be. And I mean, you can't expect him to be because, like we said with Matt and with a couple of other people, Daniels and whatnot. Look at what they did in the young portion of their career. Like, they can't do that now because they did that then.
Correct.
But that being said, he knows what it's like, or he knows how to handle somebody trying to do what Darby's doing now.
What you mean is he knows how to handle the spot monkeys.
He has an affliction, yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, good Lord, I'm sure Kristen's glad she's not with us on this.
I mean, it can't be any worse than what me and Steve used to do to her, so it's fine.
That sounded really bad. I'm just putting that out there. Speaking of Kristen, guys, tune in on a Tuesday if you don't want to talk about wrestling. Me and Kristen are doing movie reviews. The series is called The Flicks Fix. They're going out Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Toronto, Canada time. The next one should be Aliens this coming Tuesday, barring our recording schedule working out. We just re-released the MCU mega review of the first 19 MCU movies this past Tuesday, so go check that out on YouTube, on this channel here, or on your podcast forums. Unfortunately, in the podcast forums, I couldn't upload a 3.5-hour audio file, so I had to split it to 2. So if you get it on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, whatever, it is in 2 parts. You can see it on this channel in 1 part. It's long. Bring your popcorn and take a piss. It's fine. Back to wrestling.
Yes, back to wrestling.
Sticking the cheap plugs in there while I can. You're up.
Of course. Well, since we're on the Darby Allin train, I might as well just shoot out my Darby Allin match of Darby Allin versus Mr. Wrestling Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano. I can't speak.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Especially freshly healed Johnny Gargano.
Ooh.
Spots.
Ooh.
So many spots.
See, as soon as you said that, I was trying to figure out how... Oh, and they could do it too.
Yeah.
Think about the 2 finishers. Think about the
Yep.
coffin drop. Think about the coffin drop somehow being countered by the slingshot spear.
Oh.
Because that would be an unprotected slingshot spear to the back.
Yeah.
Wow. See, as soon as you say that though, because they're so inextricably linked, as soon as you say that, I want to see Darby Allin versus Tommaso Ciampa now.
Right.
Or I won't say it because I've got him coming up in another match. Moving on. It's fine. I can't even Gargano versus Darby Allin. Jesus Christ.
I'll put this for to help out both of us to pick a winner. There's a time limit. I'm sorry, I cannot speak tonight.
I can speak, I swear.
They go the distance.
Ah.
Time limit draw.
Cool.
Cool.
I should have some. I'm the NXT guy, and you're talking about one of the biggest names in NXT. I should have something to add to that.
Right.
I mean, we just spent a lot of time talking about Darby Allin in my match. I should have something to add to that.
The match speaks for itself. It would.
Oh, I know what I can add to that.
The house down.
I know what I can add to that. Like we talked in one of the first matches about, Matt Hardy being on the outside, Bianca Belair being on the outside. Imagine outside the ring, newly heel Candice LeRae and Priscilla Kelly.
Yes.
I mean, that's an entirely separate match that we just need to put on the card now. But goddamn.
Make it a mixed tag.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Candice LeRae and Priscilla Kelly are both known to take bumps from dudes.
And they both they both do weird things with blood. Moving on.
It's true.
Oh man, I got your final spot, Darby Allin as oh.
No,
I didn't mean that.
Don't do it.
We're moving away from that. Even I'm moving away from that. So you want it to be a time limit draw, right?
Time limit draw.
Darby Allin goes for the coffin drop. Gargano catches, sort of Shayna Baszler style. Gargano catches him in the Gargano escape. And Darby Allin just holds out to the time limit draw.
I say that, or it's Darby goes for the coffin drop into the unprotected slingshot. However, it's already at 10 seconds when he goes for the coffin drop, and Gargano rolls and is unable to cover him. Same kind of how what happened in Fyter Fest. However, it's at 1 by the time Gargano even touches him to try to pin.
See, and that would be cool, right? Because you got that whole, the time ran out before you could get the last 3 count. The reason I said the submission thing, because to purposely hold out your time spent in somebody else's submission hold is almost a flex on your competitor. So if he purposely held out, and the Gargano escape has taken out a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if he purposely held out the Gargano escape to take it to the time limit draw, that's a draw. There's no winner, but that's a draw that still puts over Darby Allin.
Only if, as the time limit's counting down, Darby Allin's flipping off Gargano.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's got somebody else's face stapled to his face. I don't know. Darby Allin comes in with the staple gun, and Darby Allin breaks up the Gargano escape with the staple gun.
Ooh.
Or, slingshot spear into the staple gun. I got nothing. I'm really excited about that match. That's not going to happen now. Thanks, Guapo.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this one will be a little bit more one-sided, but again, we got to throw some fun into this. Again, leaning back onto AEW, I take the piss out of them a lot. There are a lot of characters there that I really, really like. Most of the characters that I like over there are because they're really, really fun. I mean, we've got dinosaurs, we've got skeletons, and we've got aliens.
Chris Statlander.
I love Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander is fucking awesome. She's awesome, but she's also relatively new, relatively young, relatively green, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So, what's a cool story in wrestling? Young lion, old lion, teacher, student, however you want to say it. How about you put Chris Statlander and test her mettle against Charlotte Flair?
Woo.
I don't care how unpopular this opinion is, because a lot of other people think it's Sasha Banks, and it's not. Almost everybody, any wrestler, any current women's wrestler in WWE, you line up that person's top 5 matches, Charlotte Flair is in at least 3 of them. Charlotte Flair, although nobody likes her, nobody wants to admit it because she's white and blonde and successful, it's fine. I'm making friends all over the place tonight. She's good. She's in the spot that she's in for a reason. They used her to bolster NXT for a reason. You're happy that Io Shirai is the current and new NXT Women's Champion for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever, I like Chris Statlander anyway, but whatever, 100% of whatever Chris Statlander has to offer at this point in her career would be pulled out of her by Charlotte Flair.
Yes, I agree.
And I don't even think, and this is me basically putting together a match strictly to make Statlander look good, I don't even think Statlander would lose face in this match if she lost, but I have Chris Statlander going over here. I have Charlotte Flair putting her over.
Yeah, I can see that.
And she boops her on the way out, and then Charlotte gets all mad and does her weird screaming that looks like she's crying thing.
And then cries to Andrade.
Yeah, but she still doesn't cry as much as Cody. Anyways, moving on. Cody's on my card, by the way.
He's not on mine. only because I tried to pick the people that were not former WWE.
Yeah, see, I thought about that, but also, he's one of the creators of the company, so you can't get more AEW, you can't get more anti-WWE than the guy that created their competition. That was my justification for throwing him on. And when you see who I've got him going up against, you'll understand.
Gotcha.
Your turn.
All right. Let's see what I got next. Since you did a women's match, I'm gonna do one of my women's matches.
Oh, that was only one of my women's matches too.
Yeah, I got two. So, I have Miss Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
Versus Dr. Britt Baker.
Ooh.
Rhea, I mean, this is one I'm gonna give to Rhea because of just her sheer power and ability. However, Britt narrowly takes it from her at one point, at least in this match.
Okay. What, like, finds a counter to her power game?
Yes.
Okay.
Breaks her down a little bit. It's just Rhea somehow comes back to power through it.
See, what I like about that immediately is, like, Britt Baker, I'm sorry, I'm bringing this back around to a compliment. She's not the most entertaining to watch in the ring, bell to bell, but she is the most engaging female character right now that AEW has.
Yes.
And Rhea Ripley, now when they brought her from NXT UK to NXT proper, they kept her as a badass, but she was a babyface. She lost sort of like the killer bit of her character that she had when she was in NXT UK, which unfortunately nobody saw because nobody watches NXT UK because it comes on at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon because time zones are...
There's NXT UK.
That's rough, man. That's rough.
I'm sorry.
Are you? You're not, though.
I'm not.
You're not. Okay. A lot of people are like, oh, there's Dark? Oh.
No, everybody knows about Dark.
Anyways, getting back to my point, dickhead. No, when she was like the kill, she was basically the Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, I know.
Of NXT UK. She was ragdolling Dakota Kai before Dakota Kai even came back to NXT proper. So the amount of like killer instinct type character that she has would be brought out by a dickhead heel like Britt Baker.
Also, just saying this right now, Rhea Ripley has probably the second best theme music out of everybody in the business.
Who would you say is the first? You're going to say Jericho, aren't you?
I mean, of course.
See, okay, I agree with you. And we said this on a video a while ago, like when we were talking about...
And of course, that's only followed by Aleister Black.
You know what? I'm kind of sick of Aleister Black's theme, I'm not going to lie.
I love Aleister Black's theme. It gets me hype.
It suits him, and it works in the moment, but like I can sit down and listen to Jericho's, or I can sit down and listen to Ripley's just as a bit of music. Like that's the difference. I almost want to disqualify Chris Jericho's because it's not a wrestling entrance; it's just a song that's out there, and he happened to be the one that sings it. But then I can't disqualify it because you and I talked a while ago about just, wrestling and COVID times and how it's all weird and whatever. And one of the biggest things, even though I'm not the AEW guy, one of the biggest sort of like we're sort of back to normal moments in wrestling is going to be when you get an actual AEW crowd in there and Jericho comes out for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's going to be singing Judas. And you know what? I wish that would happen in Toronto because that would be a cool moment. You're absolutely right, but Baszler, or not Baszler. I just compared her to Baszler, didn't I? Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley has that, and it suits her, and you can tell that she likes her own music. And that matters. Like, what's his fucking name? He just knocked out Becky Lynch. Seth Rollins. It's fine.
No.
I mean, but no, like he's got his new like Messiah music, and I love. Trust me, I love the Seth Rollins character right now. They didn't need to change his music.
No, he didn't need a music change.
He comes down, and he always comes out like a step behind the way he normally would, because you think he has to like remind himself, oh shit, this is my new music, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't suit. It's like when Randy Orton came out to the Killswitch music for one night. Like, CM Punk's Killswitch music was given to Randy Orton for one night. And if you see the video of it, he's just like, he's trying to get into the groove of it. Like, Randy Orton has that slow Randy Orton walk. And, like, if they don't like it, or if it doesn't suit them, or if it doesn't fit, it matters. Rhea Ripley likes her music. Rhea Ripley gets hyped up by her own music. And it makes a difference.
It definitely does.
Rhea Ripley's going to destroy Britt Baker, by the way.
Yeah, she gets another busted nose. So, alright,
she's gonna get a busted everything. Now, if you had said to me 6 months ago, we're doing AEW versus WWE, and we're gonna throw a tag team match on there, player, what match would pretty much everybody have put on this list?
Probably the one that's on my list.
Which is?
Are we just gonna skip right to it? Because this
No.
is gonna be my main event, but okay.
Okay, because I had the Young Bucks
Yes.
facing somebody else. That's all I'm
Okay.
going to say.
Okay.
But they're not in a different company anymore. So what
Gotcha.
I've done instead, and I think you could have a little,
FTR.
I think you could have a little bit more fun with this now, because I changed up my choice. I pulled somebody out of a match that we've already talked about. I got the Young Bucks versus the Usos.
Ooh. Okay.
And when I put this in there, I put it in there for a couple of reasons. Both companies have a lot of tag teams that are just sort of thrown. I'm going to sneeze. There we go.
All right.
Both companies have a lot of teams that just feel like they've been thrown together, right? I mean, AEW, look at their champions right now. I'm not taking a dig at Paige or Omega, but they were kind of thrown together. Paige went away for a while. Omega was teaming with Matt Hardy for a while. Omega teams with the Bucks sometimes. And, I mean, WWE and tag team wrestling is kind of a joke.
Correct. It is.
But the Young Bucks are a tag team.
They are.
They're a pretty decent tag team.
They're pretty good.
The Usos have only ever been a tag team.
This is true.
And what you would do if I was booking it...
Wait, Spaz, you're forgetting something.
Hmm?
Nick and Matt Jackson, they're brothers.
That's where I was going.
Jimmy and Jay Uso, they're brothers.
That's where I was going, dickhead. No, so you play up the family angle, because the family angles are the easiest things to play out, because you know why? You know why? Everybody in your fan base, whether they like them or whether they hate them, everybody has a family. It's the one thing that works for everybody. So you play up the angle on both sides that we are the tag teams, in tight air quotes, of our respective things. We are the brothers of our respective things. It opens you up to be a little bit more personal. You go a little bit more traditional with the Usos. You play up their the Samoan heritage and how much Samoan history there is in pro wrestling, and you go backwards into history, whereas Young Bucks do basically what they did this week on Dynamite and play up how they're changing everything that history laid before them, and they're making it now. So you've got two teams that are very much right now 2020 teams, but you can still tell it as a now versus then story. And I mean, just put those four guys, it's like I said about my other match, put those four guys in the ring and let them go. And I mean, the Usos might even be able to show the Bucks how to have a real super kick party.
There will be lots of super kicks in this match, but I don't know if they will show the Bucks how to have a super kick party, but alright.
It's fine. I'm not an idiot, though, and the Bucks would win this.
Yeah, the Bucks win. Alright. So, my next match, you gotta have a little fun somewhere in here, right?
Yep.
So, I have Damian Priest versus Luchasaurus.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Very nice.
Two big agile dudes going at each other.
Nice. And you know what? I would say, because they can do it, book it like a cruiserweight match.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be like the one time that Big Show and Braun Strowman like actually tried to have a technical wrestling match. But also because this is what my brain does, you like obviously if we were going to do something, if these two companies ever took on each other in one pay-per-view, it would be a WrestleMania-sized event, right?
Oh yeah.
So you figure big 100,000-seater stadium, all the budget in the world to do whatever you want. Big dinosaur holograms in Luchasaurus' entrance, but you have that brief little moment where like one person's music stops, the other person's music starts. Archer comes out, not Lance Archer, Archer of Infamy, Damian Priest comes out, and he literally, as the Archer of Infamy, sets off a flaming arrow through one of the dinosaur holograms.
Oh, Lord.
It's fine. I'm sorry. You're going to hate this, and I'm going to hate myself for saying it. I'm going to say Damian Priest in that one. Luchasaurus is perma over as fuck. Damian Priest just lost to Balor at In Your House. He needs a win.
I agree with you. Because Luchasaurus is going to be a champion at some point in AEW, so it doesn't matter. He's over.
He's going to hang the belt on one of his horns. It's fine.
Yes.
Just make sure it's not the TNT belt, because that's ugly as fuck.
I hate to say... Well, okay, so quick...
It's the AEW 24/7 championship. I know it hasn't been plated yet. It's fine.
Just making sure. Make sure you knew that it wasn't finished.
I'm just putting something out there, though, like totally unrelated. Mike Tyson's old.
I agree, he is.
He lost a fight to his shirt.
Hey, that just goes to show you how good of quality those AEW shirts are.
I don't think it was an AEW shirt.
No, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because we're so good with transitions, I also... no, I'm not putting Mike Tyson in a match. Oh, man. So you got Luchasaurus in a match. I got Luchasaurus in a match. And he gets to bring his two buddies with him.
Yay.
And this is pure fun. So, I'm gonna let you guess this one. Pure fun match. All three members of the Jurassic Express. Who am I putting them up against?
Lucha House Party?
No, think bigger than that.
Bigger than that.
Bigger names than that.
Oh, New Day.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
I just want to. Well, I want to see Kofi Kingston where he belongs on the card. Second of all, I want to see the New Day offering the dinosaur pancakes. and because I'm a bad person, I'm a terrible person, and I'm a little bit cruel, I kind of want to see Marco Stunt get the midnight hour. I also want to see all the members of the New Day reacting to Marco Stunt.
Right?
I want to see Big E
the promos.
No, I want to see Big E pull out like a stack of pancakes out of his tights, because apparently that's a thing and it's not gross at all. Right. And I want him to like put a stack of pancakes on the ground and like lift up Marco Stunt and have him stand on the pancakes. I don't care what happens in the match. Is what I'm saying here. Obviously, you're gonna have the big Power Man moment within the match between Big E and Luchasaurus, which will be great. A lot of people would say Kofi Kingston, but I really want to see Xavier Woods and Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy, yeah.
Go at it. Just because it's the unexpected one. Like, Xavier Woods, I mean, he's injured right now, but even when they were in, like, three-man team type stuff, I feel like Xavier Woods is always the one that gets left behind.
Yeah.
And on the other side, Marco Stunt's fun, and Luchasaurus is awesome, and Jungle Boy is the one that needs the push. Because I think Jungle Boy is going to be a champion before Luchasaurus is. That's just my personal guess on that. But, I mean, even if you came out of this match and had another match, Xavier Woods versus Jungle Boy one-on-one, that's a pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
That's 100% a pay-per-view match. Xavier Woods come out with, like, a game controller like plugged into nothing and like trying to pause them as they came on to the attack would be great. Again, you think about entrances, you have like, the dinosaur coming out on one side of the arena, and you have like whatever game characters they want to get dressed up as on the other side, and creatively you could do a bunch of stuff with that. And like everything about this is fun, and I don't care what happens in the match at all.
To be honest, New Day would probably come out wearing like some Jurassic Park type costume or ring gear.
Or they go the other way, and like they just came from the pet store, and they've got like little tiny lizards in cages.
All right.
What do you got?
We move from the crazy gimmicky fun stuff to a hardcore match between the Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa versus Jimmy Havoc.
Ooh. See,
lots of blood.
See, I know that Jimmy Havoc has a lot of like hardcore history, and that's what he's known for, whatever.
King of the Deathmatch.
For whatever reason, and I don't know whether it's probably just presentation and not anything he's doing personally, I can't take him seriously. Not what he can do in the ring. Again, I have to reiterate that, but like as a character, I take Tommaso Ciampa seriously. I don't take, especially the tag team that he's doing right now, like
Kip Sabian.
With Kip Sabian, and I mean they bring out Penelope Ford, so that's fine. I'm all for that. But I mean, it's like somebody else I'm going to talk about later on. Like it's fine, it's all good, but I don't know. There's something. I mean, I got to go back to the whole like I'm sure the match would be great. I would opt for Ciampa to destroy him.
It would be, well, at first it would have a little bit of a technical type of match because Jimmy is actually a very good British style technical wrestler. It's just all of his matches end up turning into death matches. So, because of that, yeah, I would give the edge to Ciampa just because he can go a little crazy too.
Yeah, and Ciampa just got decimated at In Your House. I mean,
Yes.
we all knew it was going to happen, but goddamn, just goddamn. And yeah, like I say, I feel like I need to reiterate it again. Like I got nothing bad to say about what Jimmy Havoc does in the ring, but there's something when you go with people that are known for the hardcore stuff. There's a really fine line between, psychotic and terrifying and whatever, like you would call Cactus Jack back in the day. There's a line between that and veering into silly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about Jimmy Havoc that does that for me. And I wish it wasn't true. Because I wish I could get into that, holy fuck, what is he going to do next? Type thing, but I get more of that from Ciampa than I do from Havoc, even though that's not particularly Ciampa's thing, unless he's in a main event and wants to take apart the ring, it's fine.
So how about this? Instead of Jimmy Havoc, sub in Joey Janela.
Yeah, see, and that works on the opposite level, because Joey Janela is entirely goofy, and is still able to make me believe the violent shit that he's about to do.
Yeah.
See, like, the fact that I take Joey Janela and how he's presented intentionally silly, you just kind of helped me make my point. So, make it a handicap match and Ciampa can kill both of them, it's fine. You've already talked about what Rhea Ripley can do on your card. I got Rhea Ripley on my card, because what do we say? Rhea Ripley, fucking star, and a powerhouse. But a big powerhouse, a big, jacked up, tall, like, skyscraper of a powerhouse. I got her going up against a slightly smaller, slightly more compact, but nonetheless very, very impressive, and I think underutilized by AEW. I got Rhea Ripley going up against Big Swole.
Okay.
I don't know who wins. I think it'd be fun. Like, I think it's like, okay, look at me, I'm big and powerful, and to have Big Swole come out, that's fine. I'm small and powerful.
Right.
I think you can't help but do it, and it's not like a haha, you're small thing, but there would be a story throughout the match of Ripley not taking her seriously at first and gradually being surprised and surprised and surprised. And I think Rhea Ripley could do that because it's so believable that she finds it hard to find anybody a threat, because look at Rhea Ripley. Are you going to say no to Rhea Ripley?
No, absolutely not.
Like, she'd rip your dick off and feed it to you. And personally, I'd say thank you, but that's me.
Thank you, can I have another?
But I've only got one. And things are looking a bit fuzzy now. Anyways, I mean, my bias towards Rhea Ripley, I would say Ripley wins.
For Ripley versus Swole, I think Ripley would come out with the win on it.
Yeah. As I say again, like, there are people on AEW that I like, and Big Swole is one of them, and we don't see enough of her. Like, there's people we see all the time. Like, Big Swole should be in the spot that Nyla Rose is in now. Not to say to, like, be a former champion already, but, like, now that Nyla Rose has lost the championship, you sort of see where she is in the pecking order. Like, she's not the champion anymore, but she's still very, like, highly placed.
Right.
I think you swap him out, Big Swole, in that spot. I still don't particularly like Nyla Rose. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad she lost.
100% in what you call it, with you there.
I was very happy for Hikaru Shida.
Yes. And speaking of Hikaru Shida,
there you go.
For my next match, I am going to be having a champions match.
Oh no.
Hikaru Shida versus Io Shirai.
Okay, then we can tag team this one, because that's literally my next match, too. That's literally, not only on my card, but that's literally the next match that I had that I was going to mention. Originally, I mean, this was written a couple months ago, and it would have been a champion sort of match. I did have initially Io Shirai versus Riho, but Riho has gone missing. So, like, somebody stowed her safely in the overhead compartment. It's fine. But Hikaru Shida versus absolutely, and just
if I remember right, I think Rio had to go back to Japan for something, and then she got stuck over there because of the travel ban.
There was a puddle and she drowned.
Something like that. But yeah, that match would be amazing. And I honestly do not know if they've ever faced each other before.
I hope not, because like there's a thing about it, right? Because why do I bring you on? Why do I bring other people on that like know more companies than I watch, right? I love seeing people that everybody else is already excited about, and I see them for the first time. But there is a cool thing to knowing that you're seeing people fight for the first time as well. Like, there's a bunch of different elements that sort of come into that. I would, if you go back to the few brief times that WWE put Bryan versus Punk on pay-per-view, and the matches were completely different, because it's basically like, look, let us do this our way. We've known each other for a long time. It won't be like anything else you've ever seen. Let us do it our way. And they kind of did, and they kind of were different than anything else WWE was doing at the time. I'm not, me being, not familiar with, New Japan or All Japan or IWGP or all the different things that are happening in that part of the world that I haven't sought out, unless it's like, oh, Jericho's facing somebody, I'll check that out, or something like that. Me being not familiar with that style, per se, I would hope that on a platform that I am watching, two people from that part of the world could shed anything that defines, like, North American wrestling, and it's like, okay, I don't watch the stuff that happens over there, but can you show me a bit of it?
Right.
And I definitely think you get that with these two.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, if you think about it, Io Shirai, Hikaru Shida, and Asuka are all women's champions.
Yep.
And I mean, you could very easily slip Asuka into this match as well with Hikaru Shida.
Triple threat. Be a great match.
And I mean, if you want to flip it around and have the smaller girls, if you want to bring Riho back into it, Riho versus Kairi Sane would be insane, no pun intended.
Yes. All
Um,
the Japan girls versus each other.
yeah, Japanese Rumble, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it.
I mean, I'm still gonna say Io Shirai wins.
Yeah.
But...
well, actually, I'll give advantage to Shida for this one. I think she's the more experienced hand in this match.
I'm just selfish. I'm more familiar with Io Shirai, and I've seen her play both characters. We saw her come in as like, you know, happy, smiling, high-fiving, like tag teaming with Candice LeRae and Kairi Sane and all that sort of thing, and then to go from that so drastically to what she is now, I've seen a bit more of an arc with her, and that's sort of punishing Hikaru Shida for something that's not her fault. But the world sucks sometimes. Look out the window.
This is true.
Okay, so we both had that, so I'm going to throw it back to you anyways, because that was yours, and then it would have been mine, and then we'll go back to you.
Alright, that's fine. Well, my next match then is the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne versus Pac in King of the UK match.
I thought you were going to say King of the Cruiserweights.
No, King of the UK.
I saw the other day, do you remember when they tried to put the Cruiserweights on Raw?
Yeah, they attempted.
But then they put the title on Enzo, and Enzo had that one promo where it was just nobody could touch him, and he just ripped on every one of the Cruiserweights, like one after one after one.
Yeah.
Comes around to Pac, or Neville, I should say. He's like, you look like a homeless Keebler elf. How you doing? Told TJP he didn't want to beat up a minor.
Well, there's that.
Hey, Cedric Alexander, you got a scuba shirt on. I think it's a size medium. Oh, Pete Dunne's gonna destroy Pac, buddy. I hate to tell you.
I honestly think that match would be more even than anything.
I don't think that it'll be uneven, but Jesus Christ, man, Bruiserweight. I've been front row for way too many Pete Dunne matches in the past 2 years. I've seen him smacking the shit out of Cedric Alexander, Mike Elgin, Marty Scurll, Josh Alexander, James Ellsworth.
Does that one really even count?
It was funny. It was really funny, because James Ellsworth came down to insert himself as the third member in a match between Pete Dunne and Austin Aries. It was really good. He ate the pin. Are you surprised?
No, not even a little bit.
Man, Pete Dunne is so... Like, and Pac is too, to a lesser degree. Like, when Pac turned heel and became, like, King of the Cruiserweights, was, like, the beginning stages of, like, the Pac we have now in AEW. But Pete Dunne's a scary dude.
Yeah.
Like, even when he's doing, like, the bullshit with Riddle and he's, like, being a little bit more lighthearted and having a bit of fun, like, he's still terrifying. Like, I always put it down to, like, stuff that you can actually imagine. You know, not very many people have been powerbombed or tombstone pile driven or had a Canadian destroyer or whatever the case may be. But we've all bent our fingers the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So just, it might not be as disastrous as some other things that other people do, but it's more relatable to the audience. Like, we've all, you know, caught our arm, like, we've all been, like, walking somewhere and caught our arm on a banister or something like that. We know what it's like to bend something the wrong way. And it's just, and I mean, when you got somebody that's going to target your limbs versus somebody in Pac who is a heel, but still has a lot of high-fly type maneuvers in his arsenal, to have somebody like Pete Dunne that can disable that big a portion of your arsenal, I would love the match, and the match would be hard hitting as fuck. But
Yeah.
I would slide it in Pete Dunne's favor for sure.
I'd give the win to Pete.
Not to say that it would be easy, and at least one of them would be bleeding, but
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling it would be a lot. It would be really simple. I mean, even though Pac is a heel, and Tyler Bates definitely not, I have a feeling it would be a lot like the takeover match between Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Tyler Bates is a scary dude too. He looks happy and everything, but like when you hear him hit somebody, it's terrifying. He's like the men's version of Big Swole. He's like the smallest guy in the match, but he's not a small guy. Okay, so
Yes.
speaking of guys that aren't particularly large, but are large characters, that wasn't a good transition at all. Pentagon Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty scary dude.
Yeah.
I like the Lucha Brothers, but I wanted to come up with a singles match for him. And it might sound a little cliche, but initially I had Pentagon Jr. taking on The Fiend.
Okay.
I no longer have Pentagon Jr. taking on The Fiend, because there's a new guy on the scene in NXT with a really hot valet. I have Pentagon Jr. versus Killian Cross in a no DQ match.
Ooh.
And when I say no DQ, I mean like unsanctioned. Hey ref, unless you're counting the pin, shut the fuck up.
So someone dies.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, can Killian Cross take a Canadian destroyer?
I mean, Pentagon can try, and I think Killian Cross will end up wearing him as a necklace.
It happens.
I mean, I'm coming at this with a lot of hyperbole, but like, just the way in a couple of squash matches and one pay-per-view, just the way that Killian Cross has been presented by NXT,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna die.
Someone will die from him, yes.
Somebody is going to die. I would even go as far as to say, as much as I like Scarlett stays in the back. There is no interference in this match. Let these guys just kill each other.
Yes, I agree with you. It would, I hate to say it because I love Pentagon, but I would have to give that one to, Killer. To Cross.
I would love to see Killian Cross, like, not bow, but like sort of lower his head and like offer himself up for a package pile driver, just so we could get up and no-sell it.
Oh yeah.
Cause that'd be funny.
Definitely happen.
Cause that'd be really
Package
funny.
Driver gets up in like 2 seconds. That was nothing. Do it again.
Tries for a Canadian destroyer and literally shrugs him off.
No,
Tries for that. Okay? You gotta help me out. What's that arm breaker that Pentagon does, where he sort of like has you on your side and he like wrenches back on the free arm? Does that like is there a name for that?
I think it's just an arm breaker. I'm not sure exactly.
I would laugh if, when you get to the person to the point where they're on their side and you're reaching the arm back, I would love, kind of like when Undertaker was like the first one to break Bret Hart's sharpshooter and he literally kicked him out of the ring.
Yeah.
Go for that arm breaker, and instead of snapping the arm back, just one arm brings him over and throws him out of the ring.
That'd be pretty great.
Killian Cross kills Pentagon, and he's already dressed up like a skeleton, so it's fine.
He's already dead. So, time for my third to last match, and it's going to be another massive guy match.
Okay.
I think you might know where I'm going to go with this.
I don't know, there's a lot of big guys on both brands right now, so that's not as narrow a conversation point as you would think.
Well, this one guy, you can bask in his glory.
Oh, Jesus.
Keith Lee.
Oh, no.
Versus a personal favorite of you and myself, who's managing this man, Taz's killer.
Holy shit.
Brian Cage.
Jesus Christ.
Two massive dudes who are way too agile for their size.
And it's an interesting match because, like, you talk about them being, both of them being big dudes, they're both, like, different kinds of big.
And it's a cage match.
It's a Brian Cage match.
They're going to need to be in a cage match.
So when they're walking down the rampway to the ring, is that the path of Cage?
Yes, it is.
Nice. Nice. I like it. Just roll with it. It's fine. Cage can have that one.
Yeah, I think Cage would win it.
Cage takes the Cage takes the NXT North American Championship to AEW.
Yep, this is mine now.
Oh my God! You want to talk about people being on the outside? You want to talk about?
Wait.
You want to talk about trash talk on the outside? You got Mia Yim and Taz.
Oh God. Okay, so alright, scratch the Cage match. It's just a regular type of match.
With Cage.
With Cage, of course. But there's somebody coming out for interference from AEW or whatever. They have all the wrestlers on the outside and everything like they have been doing right now. And Keith Lee comes out of nowhere and pounces whoever it is that comes out into the crowd.
Nice.
Because you got to have that spot somewhere.
You could, if that's the case, you could just make it a lumberjack match.
Ooh.
And it would be great because, like, what lumberjacks are chucking those two guys back in the ring?
Oh, yeah. Lumberjack match full of lower talent like Pineapple Pete.
Again, I say, what lumberjacks are going to throw those two back in the ring?
Not even touching them. All right. So yeah, Cage by probably a little bit.
Okay. So when you have armies going against each other, eventually you have to get out the kings of those armies.
Mm-hmm.
WWE versus AEW. What night of the week does that happen?
That'll be Wednesday night, sir.
What form of WWE happens on Wednesday night?
NXT, sir.
Who created AEW?
That would be Tony Khan. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean Cody?
I do.
Okay.
Who created NXT?
Seth freaking Rollins.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Triple H?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh.
So, what we have is Triple H versus I really, really, really want to be Triple H one day, but I'm not.
So is this how Cody gets his last name back?
Sure. This is where we come out with the adamantium throne that he tries to break and injures his own fingers instead. And then, then Triple H beats him to death with his own action figures. No, in all seriousness, Cody Rhodes and Triple H are both accused. I accuse Cody Rhodes, and a lot of people accuse Triple H, of having overly long, drawn-out, overthought, super, like, try to put way too much into one match. So just let them do it.
Yes.
And Triple H can spank him around the ring for a while.
Until Cody comes back to win.
And I'm sorry. Again, a lot of this goes to who's going to be on the outside. Imagine in one corner, you've got Brandy and Tony Khan, And in the other corner, you've got Stephanie and Vince.
Yeah, there's that.
It's good. It's really good. It'll be a 6-man tag, and Tony Khan will shit his pants, and Vince will die.
I mean, that's if Vince doesn't tear both his quads again trying to get in the ring.
You know what I just thought of? It'll be really good. Tony Khan getting a pedigree. Tony Khan getting a pedigree.
The worst part is, I feel like he would go for it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
Vince had his head shaved at WrestleMania, so it's about time
There's
Tony Khan did something.
This is true.
Vince McMahon also rocked a do-rag in the ECW Championship and said some very unflattering things to John Cena in front of Booker T.
Yeah.
How would that fly in 2020?
All right, my next match.
Moving swiftly on.
Oh, God. All right, so my semi-main is going to be kind of like how you had it, the kings of both brands-ish. However, this is also going back to a little New Japan-ish, too. We will be having Prince Balor
Okay.
versus the Cleaner, the Terminator, Kenny Omega.
So Terminator versus Venom?
Basically.
Nice. I could buy that.
Yeah. I'm going Balor versus Kenny, and Kenny barely beating Balor.
Okay.
And yeah, just because Balor did leave first. He left New Japan first, and Kenny assumed the role. So they'd never had a match together, like one-on-one match.
Okay.
There's never been a one-on-one match between Kenny and Balor.
So you mean there's never been a match between Kenny Omega and Fergal David?
Correct. They have worked together, and then Kenny kind of jumped him, but that was about it.
You know what? I'm not even mad about that. Like we've talked a lot about like what I think about Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I still don't get it. He's great. He's fun to watch in the ring. I find him almost more entertaining to watch in tag team scenarios than individual, but I know I'm in the minority on that.
Yeah.
But
Yes, you are.
I mean, like I wouldn't mind that in the slightest. I mean, Kenny Omega's in my next match as well. But no, I'm surprised I actually didn't throw Balor on this because Balor's really really good, and why didn't I throw him on? But anyways,
That was a missed opportunity for you there.
it was a missed opportunity for me there. I'm just thinking who I would have put him against.
Mm.
Oh, Finn. You know what I would have done? Finn Balor versus Sammy Guevara.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, considering they were never technically in WWE at the same time, Balor versus Cody.
Yeah. Balor versus Cody would be really good.
You're Balor versus Omega. I don't know how you would work it because there would have to be something between Balor and Cole. But at the very last minute, you know how we had what's I'm talking about? Triple H versus Sting at WrestleMania, and the NWO came to back up Sting, even though that really didn't make any sense.
Right.
I would have the Elite, the Elite, come out and back up Kenny Omega. So get everybody out there, like get Paige out there, the Bucks, get Cody out there with the Nightmare family, whoever's all in that now.
Right.
And not really making any sense, but out to back up Finn Balor, I would have the Undisputed Era.
Okay.
Just for that like visual on the outside, because
you just book it with bringing back the Good Brothers and AJ with them, with Balor.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
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 Or the Undisputed Club, and then Balor wins by numbers.
Be interesting.
Well, I mean, because there's Bullet Club on all sides of that scenario, isn't there?
Yes, technically.
There we go. So they all take off their respective shirts, and they're all wearing Bullet Club shirts underneath, and the match doesn't even happen.
Yes.
No, I mean, like I say, put my own like I don't get it-ness of Kenny Omega aside. I can't deny that. It would be fucking phenomenal. And so we'll stick with Kenny Omega, and this is where I've got a little bit of a caveat. I said at the beginning of the video, I said I've got one match that has a wild card in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about the heads of the highlights of the respective companies from the business perspective with Cody and Triple H. Obviously, that was something I was going to throw in there because fuck Cody Rhodes. But from an in-ring perspective, I would say most popular from one brand, most popular from another brand, and the guy that both brands would want to get their hands on.
Okay.
Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole
Baby.
versus CM Punk.
Ooh. Okay.
And what you do, because you treat him as a free agent, if Kenny wins, well, they're all contractors,
Yeah.
If Kenny wins, CM Punk comes to AEW. If Cole wins, CM Punk goes to NXT, and I just realized why that's really bad.
Yeah.
And if Punk wins, he just gets to choose which brand he goes to.
No matter what, he's coming back and going to somewhere.
He has to come back to wrestling. He just has to choose which company.
Well, I guess Kenny's winning.
I would like to see a double last shot on Punk and Omega. And then you find out after the fact that the extra caveat on the contract is if Adam Cole wins, CM Punk has to join the Undisputed Era. It's lame and it's obvious that I would throw CM Punk in there, but
Right.
it's lame and it's obvious because it would be really good. And you know what? CM Punk's a dick now, these days, and he kind of hates everybody, and he's really hopping on a bunch of SJW trains that I really don't want to get even started on. But that aside, like, the guy did what he did to WWE. I mean in a positive way. So take something that everybody's already riding the dick of, like AEW, and some people are riding the dick of, like NXT, and just have the audience, like, drooling over the fact that he's going to end up in one of these brands.
Right.
And plus the match itself would be fucking great.
Yes. Those three together will probably tear the house down.
And I mean, Cole and Punk are really good. They could carry Omega to a really good match. I can't, I'm sorry. Alright, I'm a dick. It's fine.
It's okay. It's okay. So, well, that's your main event. My main event, of course, is the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole versus the Elite, the Young Bucks,
Elite.
and Hangman, Adam Page.
Sorry, which of the Undisputed Era are you leaving out?
Roderick Strong.
Okay.
Yeah. And before bell rings, everything, both teams are in the ring. They give them a mic for whatever reason, so they can trash talk one last time. And the Bucks look directly at Adam like, "Dude, you're alive? I thought we killed you." Because they killed him in BTE.
So in your version, this whole pay-per-view is thrown together, big long drawn out joke to get a YouTube related punchline.
Yes.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
And then they tear the house down.
Well, if they tear the house down, where are they going to have the match?
In the stadium. The Stadium Stampede Part 2.
Oh, good God. Oh, good God. Stadium. Okay, I will say.
Great.
I will say, coming off the back of Double or Nothing, Stadium Stampede was a lot of fun. It was almost. I'm going to give a lot of credit here. It was almost as good as One Final Beat. Fuck you, One Final Beat was great.
Oh God. No.
It was good. It was really, really good.
Okay.
It's fine.
Anyway. So, that's our NXT versus AEW card. Took us 6 months to do.
Well, WWE, I've got some WWE folks in there too.
Yeah,
So technically, I'm going to have to label this as WWE versus AEW. Because, remember, when AEW brags about beating NXT in the ratings, they're really bragging that their whole company can defeat 1/3 of WWE. Hey. Anyways, Guapo, tell them where to find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Guapo_504. I tweet sometimes, not really. But follow me anyway.
And you guys know where to find me, or you wouldn't be here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight. This is, as we've said, all video. This is an incredibly overdue video. But I've been Spaz. He's been Guapo. We are your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. We'll talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, myself and El Guapo are tagging out. Bye, guys.
Adios, mis amigos.
You're a freak.